Hello beautiful creatures, I hope you are as excited as I am for today's video. I am bringing you the first in a new series here on the channel where I bring my style and aesthetic to the Zodiac. Yep, 12 dolls, 12 videos, 12 astrological signs. I'm so excited, so let's jump right in. The first sign in the wheel of the Zodiac is of course Aries. Coming off the back of a full moon, an equinox, an eclipse, and Mabon this weekend, I'm so excited to be sharing this creation with you all. For my base, I'm taking an ever after high body and using this abominable monster high doll head that I guess I used some time ago to practice skin tone changing with pastels, and I'm going to be putting them together to create my Aries inspired doll. So while I create some ram horns for my doll, let's talk about Aries. It's no secret or surprise that the symbol for Aries is the ram, so of course my doll will be having big old ram horns. Aries is also the first of 3 fire signs, and so a lot of my inspo for my color palette will come from the colors of fire. Red is also most often referred to as the color of Aries, which is perfect seeing as it is autumn in New Zealand during Aries rules, and the leaves are changing and everything feels like it's on fire. Therefore, my Aries doll is going to have much more of an autumny theme than, say, something someone might create from the Northern Hemisphere, as Aries is springtime for those north of the equator. Being a fire sign, people born under Aries are often passionate, confident, bold, and a little feisty, especially when it comes to their goals. The body part associated with Aries is, of course, the head, so I'm going to be paying the most attention to my doll's hair, face up, and head in order to honor that. Aries is a cardinal sign and one of the 6 positive signs. Cardinal signs are often considered action-orientated, they take the initiative, and are often a force to be reckoned with. Positive signs are also often attributed more masculine qualities, some even referring to Aries as a masculine sign, embracing fierce willpower and drive. I selected the Abby face to resemble this, as the face definitely has somewhat might be considered mask features like a strong jaw or brow. Obviously, the gendered energies present in astrology are outdated gendered concepts, but I think it gives me some creative parameters to begin thinking about what my doll's creation might look like and what I want to include. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of a roadmap on what to expect this doll to come together as. It's definitely going to have horns, there's going to be a lot of red, there's going to be some autumn energy, and she's going to have a fierce facial expression. So if you were born between March 20th and April 21st, I hope you are super excited for me to try and represent your astrological sign in a doll. Thinking about the significance of the head in relation to Aries, I want to have a really large silhouette for this doll. So I'm going to be using yarn to create my hair. And I'm going to not be brushing it out, rather including lots of different types of yarn to create a locked look. Taking a embroidery needle, I'm just going to be plugging every random hole really, because it's a thicker hair, because I want that locked style. I don't need to plug every hole on the head because then it would be way too full, so I'm just creating up the right kind of volume that I'm looking for. And because I'm going for a little bit of a ram-inspired satyr moment, I am going to be taking inspo from my last satyr or fawn that I did on the channel and going with a mullet for the hairstyle, so I did brush out some yarn to create a fringe. I got the funniest comment on my last video about putting the head on after I did the face up and then pouring hot water over it, and so just so you know, I took really good care to not screw up the pre-color changed face that I'm using, though there is some cracking in the sealant. I did always expect that, so to rectify it I am just going to do some more pastels to try and even that out, but that is a risk I took when using a face that had already kind of been fiddled with prior to starting my doll. As always, to begin my face up, I'm starting with simple shapes and then adding more and more detail as I go through layers of Mr. Super Clear. I want my Aries doll to have a kind of powerful and passionate facial expression, kind of sultry, kind of sassy, little bit attitude moment. So that's the kind of face shape I want to pull off. So my eyes are going to be kind of more pulled back at the corners. It's going to have much more a dramatic brow and a smoky makeup look, because nothing says sultry like a smoky makeup look. I'm trying to keep it quite tonal and quite like natural in the sense of the colors used, so natural reds and browns, almost earthy, though still fiery, and I did want to put the Aries symbol on her forehead, even though it will be covered by her fringe. I think I will include the symbol somewhere on all of my dolls in this series. And with her face up complete, this is what her sultry little makeup look looks like. I can move on to her fringe and her mullet. I absolutely love these yarn like balls that you can get that have multiple colors. I think they create complementary color schemes that are just really easy for you to work with straight off the bat. So I'm using the Lion brand one. I got mine at Spotlight. I think it's a US brand, so it should be available in the Northern Hemisphere as well. Now that she is looking like Cousin It, it's time to go ahead and style this into more of a shag than a mullet now that I think about it. I mean, I'm no hairdresser. I don't know the names or terminologies of the cool haircuts people have. My hair is just one length long as, so hopefully I got the right terminology for you. Styling yarn here that's been straightened is pretty easy. I just use the method of wetting it with a thick bristle brush and combing it down, cutting it, and then using a rubber band to help it dry in place. I think this edgy shag with locks look really sums up the attitude and energy I get from the Aries people in my life. And now it's time to move on to clothing. I'm using this autumn fabric that I think still has kind of similar shapes and motifs to flames and fire, as I do think that autumn leaves on a tree do look like the tree is burning. And I'll also be using these beautiful ribbons to create some detailing and a bra top. Now, hopefully for those of you who are returning subscribers, you're able to see I am really trying to show you guys more of my clothing method, starting with my pastel goth video, which was my last video. So I'm going to be trying to make big puffy balloon pants. That's what I refer to them as. I've also seen them referred to as hippie pants or harem pants, but just really, you know, big voluminous pants with a tight ankle and a tight waist. This is because I'm trying to create the look of a satyr leg without having to do a full fur leg, because I was always going to put this doll in pants. I didn't want to spend the time creating that big fluffy leg just to hide it. So I used lined paper, as it's a really good way to measure when you're new to making patterns, to create this really simple pant leg pattern that is only going to have a seam on one side. And then I sewed the front of the pants together and began gathering my waist. I'm going to gather the waist and the ankles before sewing it up in a U shape to create a pant. In order to create the waistband before I close all of the seams, I am just sewing a little strip of the same fabric, right sides together, and then flipping it back on itself to create a thicker, wider waistband and hiding the seam. And here are my finished balloon pants, really simple and easy to create, and I think they will create a perfect faux satyr leg shape. Here they are on, with a little belt that I will finalize once I have finished the top for this doll. And so to create the top for this little project, I'm using these lengths of fiery red ribbon and some jump rings to create a bra top. I'm just going to go ahead and cut little lengths of each ribbon and glue them together in a triangular shape to create my cups, and then use little jump rings to join it all together. It was here that I noticed I hadn't done any body blushing, and since the doll was going to be wearing just a little bra, I knew I needed to. So wrapping her head up to keep it safe, it's time to blush up her body. And seeing as we are faking a satyr bottom half, I'm gonna give her little hooves using milliput, and I'm also gonna take this opportunity with my milliput made up to thicken up her horns and give them a better silhouette and shape. Now, I don't recommend doing your horns after the face is complete. I would really recommend doing your horns all at once before moving on to adding hair and doing a face up, but I didn't do that, so I've just glad wrapped her off and hoping for the best that I don't mess everything up while I create some thicker, bulkier horns. Hours later, her horns and hooves are dry, and so I can begin to add the final little details like dry brushing her horns. To do so, I'm just taking some Mod Podge in the matte one, and I'm going to be using some shiny Prolix powders to add some dimension. I also wanted to add that sheen to the hooves, so I went ahead and dry brushed them as well, and now I'm taking some scenery flocking to create some texture and some fur elements to her hooves so that it does look like under those big pants there are some satyr legs. And here are her cute little hooves with some fur and some flocking just to create some texture. And of course, the finishing touch on any of my face ups is to gloss the eyes and lips to bring some realism to the face. So I'm just using some gloss varnish to do so. And I went ahead and used that scenery flocking to create a little wristband that kind of appeared as if she was holding some fire to represent the fact that Aries is a fire sign. It is completely removable, but I thought it was such a cute little addition. And here she is, my completed Aries doll. She's got some cute little bangles on and she's playing with fire like all good Aries do. I think her facial expression turned out so beautiful and sassy, and I actually think this is one of my favorite dolls I've ever created. I am really excited to be doing this series on the channel. I think it is so fun. I love astrology and the Zodiac, and I just think it's such a great way to get to know everyone. And yeah, anytime I meet someone new, I'm like, oh my god, what's your astrological sign? So I'm really excited to be bringing my aesthetic and vision to this series. That being said, of course, this isn't a new concept, and I am by no means the first person to do a Zodiac doll series, so do go check out some other creators and their vision of the Zodiac. If you are new here and you would love to see what other Zodiac signs and creations I bring to life, do hit that subscribe button. I love having you guys here and meeting you all and seeing you in the comments. So if you're new, hit that subscribe button. If you are a returning subscriber, you know that I love you guys so much and I can't wait to hear all about what you guys think about this doll. What is your astrological sign? What one are you most excited for? I'm a Taurus, in case that wasn't obvious enough already. I am absolutely a Taurus, so I can't wait for the next one. And if you did like this video, hit that like button. Leave me a comment what you're up to today, if you believe I'm a Taurus or what sign you thought I was. What sign are you? What do you think is the best thing about your sign, and what would you like to see about your sign in a doll form? And as always, I will see you guys back here so soon with more crafts and more curios. Thanks for watching. Bye!